Hey, guess what? 2020 is over. Hello, my name is Louise and welcome to Adventures with Yarn. This is my knitting and crochet podcast in which I talk about things that I knit and crochet. If this is your first time coming to check me out, thank you and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I hope that you guys have all had a wonderful, lovely holiday season, a great end to an otherwise awful year that was 2021. As you can see, I am filming in front of my Christmas tree for the last time this year, or rather the last time of last year. Anyways, I have some cool things to show you. I have a Knitmas fail project to show you. I have several new cast-ons which have been so exciting. I have a Christmas Eve cast-on, I have a Christmas Day cast-on, and I have a New Year's Day cast-on. What else? Got some new socks on the needles to show you. I have some fun and exciting things going on at adventureswithyarn.com to talk to you about, ways that you can enter to win prizes. And then we have some life updates that we'll say for the very end, should you be interested. All right, so like I said, my name is Louise. I will be your host. I would encourage you to get yourself cozy, comfortable, grab something nice to drink, grab whatever you're working on, so you can knit or crochet or whatever it is that you do while we talk about it. Let's see. I feel like there was something else. Whoa, yeah, some more housekeeping stuff, sorry. So if you would like to connect with me, you can do so by commenting. You can connect with me on Instagram at Adventures with Yarn, and you can connect with me on adventureswithyarn.com, which is a social media platform run by yours truly, and it's free and a great way to connect and meet and talk with other people that are also into knitting and crochet. It's also where I host my contests and giveaways. Okay, so I'm going to calm down a little bit, take a drink here. This is my newest mug from Waldrug, South Dakota. I got to be on a live YouTube podcast with the Politically Incorrect Knitters, as well as Bone Crevets and Murder Knits. Which is a new podcast that I highly enjoy. If you really also like true crime, I'd really encourage you to go check it out. True crime knitting is a match made in heaven. So you can find that on their channels, the Politically Incorrect channel, and I believe I have linked that also, if not on my Instagram, definitely on adventureswithyarn.com. It's on there. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. This has inspired the first competition of the new year. The first competition that Adventures with Yarn is hosting of 2021. So we will get into that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to show you my Knitmas fail. If you're unfamiliar with Knitmas, what that is basically an all-encompassing time when you knit and crochet your Christmas presents that are given to other people. I have come to realize that I basically live for Knitmas. Like, gift giving is, I think, my love language, and there's just nothing better to me than making something specifically for someone and giving it to them, and especially if they're knit worthy and they like it. Oh my gosh, I made some adorable sweaters for my nieces, and I got permission to post those photos, so I'll be doing that on some form of social media later. But I mean, I think I was just realizing that, like, yeah, I truly live for that. But this Knitmas present did not make it in time. So in one of my little sock bags, which is a trusty blue Q bag that I've had for a while here, which I really like to use for my travel projects, specifically like my socks. This is a vanilla sock. This is a vanilla sock that, as you can see, is unfinished. This is Croy. Let's see here. I have the Patton's Croy socks yarn. It is a self-striping 100% wool yarn. Oh, excuse me, 75% washable wool, 25% nylon, in the colorway Eclipse Stripes. And like I said, did not make it. You can see it is not finished, and this is sock number 1 of the set. I considered trying to finish this on Christmas Eve and just knitting like a mad person. But come Christmas Eve, I decided that I would rather enjoy the day, spend time with family, do my own Christmas Eve cast on is something that I would really enjoy knitting on, and just save this for next Knitmas, which I will. I'll try to keep working on this. I mean, my other projects are very exciting, and so very hard to tear myself away from, but I intend to keep working on this one. Just as I think that I will try to get a head start on Knitmas even as early as now, for Knitmas 2021, just so that like it doesn't sneak up on me as it invariably does. It always does. Even if I start in the summer, it just seems like there's always never enough time. So I'm going to try really hard to be realistic and only knit, you know, for probably like immediate family members, and those right around the outer circle of that. But also when we get back into life updates, I anticipate not having a ton of time at the end of this year, so I'll let you know more about that later. So yeah, and also like I said, come to realize like that I basically live for Knitmas. Like, why not? Priorities, right? Why not just make Knitmas last all year? Yes. This little stitch marker I want to try to show you. It's kind of hard for me to show on camera, but it is this little tea set. It is supposed to be a little peppermint mocha tea set from Itty Bitty Delights, and it has a little skull and candy cane on the whipped cream in the peppermint mocha, because this was part of like a little murder mystery set that I got from her last year, maybe the Christmas before, maybe it was last Christmas, I think it was. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on these, just large size socks, vanilla, self-striping yarn. A great knit, one that we'll keep on working with, keep on going. Okay, what order should I do these in? Let's go then on to, oh, I want to show you a finished object I have that never made it to last podcast. This is the Hearten cowl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. This was part of the Knit Vent bundle, and it is only because of social distancing restrictions that I'm able to show this to you now on the podcast, because otherwise I was going to travel and see my grandmother and sit outside on her porch while we socially distanced and exchanged presents, but we had to postpone. So here's the Hearten cowl. This is something else, huh? So basically, I think you could totally use Advent minis for this, and it could possibly even be intended for Advent minis, but I ended up using scraps, leftovers of sock yarn that I had, and yeah, so as you can see, we've got all kinds. I've got yarn from Biff Sugar Yarns in here. I have a couple minis from my Advent mini calendar from last year by Stew Yarns, I think is what it was called, from Russia. What else? I think there's some Madeline Tosh yarn, which is that Game of Thrones theme, oh, what's he called? The Night King. Yes, that was that. Yeah, let's see. I think I'm pretty sure I have some minis that were given to me from Amanda of Wallflower Gal Fibers. I definitely see the colorway Christmas Eve, which is that pink one, which is the very first completed sock set that I made for myself several Christmases ago. A lot of really fun stuff, and I really hope my grandma likes this. Now, this is a pretty oversized cowl. I would almost venture to say it could almost be considered a infinity scarf, but oh my goodness, let me tell you what a world of difference blocking has made. I don't always block things, but I am not regretting that I did so. Oh my gosh, it feels so flat. Oh my gosh, since I blocked it, and I blocked it very simply. I didn't put any wash on it. I just soaked it, wrung out the water, laid it flat on a towel, and let it dry flat. I kind of pushed it in shape. I didn't even use like pins or a blocking mat because I don't have one. I'm kind of behind on the game in that regard. But I am so glad that I did block this because it was kind of like bunched up in some areas. You can see how the pattern is. It kind of lends itself to these chevron stripes among other stripes. And so it was kind of bunching on itself, and I just can't stop draping it because it's just so nice and wonderful, and I really hope she loves it. And how much fun was this to make? It was a lot of fun going from color to color. You know, these colors were very much random. I mean, I planned it out, but it did not turn out like I planned it, and I kind of planned the randomness. Yeah, I think I've seen other people make the same thing with, you know, not using a different color for every single row. Which is an option, or only using like 5 colors for the whole thing, or having a certain theme, or whatever. I think you could just do all kinds of amazing color possibilities with this. So that was a lot of fun, and hopefully I will be giving this away as soon as possible, and I hope my grandmother loves it, keeps her warm. Okay, so now let's go in the order of what I cast on. Now, if I can remember, Christmas Eve cast on. The Christmas Eve cast on that I did was using the Advent calendar that I got. I haven't shown the minis on here, and I don't think I'm going to until they're knitted up. But I purchased an Advent calendar, a mini skein Advent calendar from Cornbread and Honey this year. I've never purchased anything from them before. I was a little unsure as I was opening up the Advent calendar. The first color, I was like, okay, cool, nice, pretty. Second color, okay, pretty. As I got into 3 and 4 and 5, I saw this fade developing, but I couldn't quite make sense of how the second day fit into the fade, and I wasn't quite grasping. I wasn't grasping the fade. Basically, I was having a hard time really visualizing it. Not until I actually started knitting it up and I started really thinking about it. And by Christmas Eve, I opened up the last skein, the last little mini skein. I had my 25 Advent minis all lined up. You can see them on my Instagram. And I was trying to figure out in what order I wanted to make my project. I had picked a project, and I couldn't decide, like, should I move the colors around to make them more of a fade, or what should I do? And in the end, I decided to trust the artist, trust the process that they developed and produced, and I am not sorry that I did. So without further ado, I'm going to show you what is become my Christmas Eve cast on. And this is my progress so far. Let's see if I can't untangle this here. progress so far, and I want to show you the right side of it. My progress so far on another Helen Stewart project, come to think of it, the Dust of Snow cowl. So this is using the Advent mini skeins that I got held double with mohair, and that is what the Dust of Snow wrap, did I say cowl? Dust of Snow wrap calls for. But in my case, I also did some time thinking about this. I am not using white mohair, but in true Louise fashion, I am using a pink mohair. Of course, you can never have too much pink, in my opinion. So this is now lovingly referred to by me as my Dust of Pink Snow wrap. I hope that you can grasp the fuzziness that is this right now. Oh my gosh. And so you can see we have day number 1, day number 2, so day number 1, you have this dark, deep, dark blue, and then you have this pink with some blue in it, and then we get back to a little bit of a lighter blue, and then an even lighter blue, and then this kind of gray and blue and pink, and I can't believe I forgot to weave in my ends to the other side of the mohair. I also decided to make this a little bit wider. I figured that if this wrap was anything like the Knit Vent Heart and Cowl by Helen Stewart, that she probably allowed for a little extra yarn like than the Advent Mini typically has. So, and so far that seems to be the case, even with me adding length to this. So I added, let's see, it is a paid for pattern, so I'm going to try not to give too much away, but basically you can add increases by like increments of 12, and I added 2 increments of 12 to make this just a little bit wider, and it still has plenty of yarn from the Advent Mini to go across and last for as long as I need that color to last. This is so soft. I cannot wait to wrap myself up in this and snuggle up against this. I mean, it feels like a cloud. It's so nice. It's so soft. It's been really fun seeing how the next color will work and the next color and watching them come together. So I'm excited to show you how this grows. It's a lot of fun. And as you can see on my Instagram, when I laid out all the minis, it does kind of fade into some brighter colors, some pinks. There's definitely more light pinks in the end. So even though the whole thing is not pink, there is a lot of pink, and I'm here for it, and I love it. These needle stoppers have been so much fun too. These were an extra little goodie that I got from Amanda at wallflowergalfibers.com. I haven't seen her selling these specifically, but maybe she will, and I hope she does, because these are awesome. Just stick them on my needles, and I can rest assured that my project will not be slipping off. Okay, so this is what I cast on Christmas Eve, and I worked on that, and I mean, I didn't do all of this work on Christmas Eve. I don't remember, probably Christmas Eve, I probably definitely got into like the second color, but I don't remember for sure. But this is the work that I've done from then until now. Now my Christmas Day cast on, it's over here. So for Christmas, basically I gave my husband a yarn shopping list. I gave him a shopping list of yarn that he could get me so that I could make myself about 4 different sweaters. He did not disappoint, and he definitely got me the yarn that I asked for, and so I have 4 sweaters quantities waiting to be knit up. This is the first one. Let's see if I can't. So this is my work so far on the Soldotna crop. Oh my gosh. Yes, if you knit and are on Instagram, you are probably aware of the Soldotna crop. This is a Caitlin Hunter pattern, I do believe. And it is a crop top, so best believe I'll be wearing this over a dress because you're not gonna find me in high-waisted pants without a tunic or a long shirt to cover that area. But I do think that this will look cute as a cropped sweater over a dress. This is a stranded colorwork pattern, and the colors that I picked out are all from Knit Picks. They're all Swish DK yarns, and we've got this brown, which is pine cone. You've got this nice bubblegum pink, which is blossom. You've got this purple here, which is amethyst. It might be called amethyst heather, maybe. And then this pale pink, which is called frosting. So I picked these out online, like not looking at them in person, not holding them up against each other, just kind of imagining, looking at all the other Soldotna crops and imagining what I wanted. I think though that if I had to go back, I would maybe choose a lighter shade of brown and or a lighter shade of purple. My only regret is that the purple and the brown are both such deep hues that when they're next to each other, they kind of lose each other. I feel like, and you can comment below if you agree or disagree, but I feel like when I'm holding this up, what stands out to me is this row of pink and then these pillars of light pink, rather than when I look at other people's Soldotnas and I feel like is a very distinct kind of crowned pattern, which would be what is kind of hidden, the brown on top of these pillars of light pink. So I feel like you kind of lose that pattern in this. At this part of the pattern is the only place where the purple and the dark, where the purple and the brown are right next to each other, because otherwise we're going into light pink with the purple sideways chevrons, I think some more like pillar stripes, and then onto the body, which the body will be that bubblegum pink with little dots of light pink and purple. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure I'm just gonna love it no matter what. I only have one sweater for myself that I hardly ever wear, so it'll be exciting to have another sweater that is mine. I have already taken this off the needles once and put like scrap yarn in it and tried it on over my neck just to like make sure that my tension was okay, because I'm not super experienced with the stranded colorwork knitting. And my experience in the past has led me to have like too tight of a tension and have things be too tight. But at least what I can see of so far is working out okay, and I'm trying to, you know, keep the tension, you know, consistent and with my floats and all. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Oh, I gotta show you the progress keeper, of course. This is an adorable progress keeper made by Noelle of Charmed and Dangerous. And it is this little beaver. And this was part of the November charm club. Yeah, for the month of November. Super cute little forest critters. But I like that it's a beaver, because then I just kind of feel like I'm knitting on this like a busy beaver. I really did have to tear myself away from this because I wanted to put more work on the Dust of Snow wrap, and now it's a vice versa. And then I had to drag myself away from the Dust of Snow so that I could put some more work on this, because once I get into each of them, it's just, I don't know, it's just the color work, it's just, oh, it's so much fun. I want to keep going and see what the next section brings, what the next color looks like. And with this being a crop top, hopefully it'll be a fairly quick sweater for myself. So talk about some instant gratification. That will be fun. Also for that reason, that is the first of the 4 sweaters that I hope to knit this year for myself that I cast on, because hopefully it'll be done the quickest and then I can wear it. So that has been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to show you more as it grows. Okay, and then we have a Christmas Day cast on, which, oh, I gotta show you this yarn bowl. Oh my goodness. So my best friend got me this yarn bowl. How cute is this? I don't know for sure where they got it, but they got it on Etsy somewhere. It is handmade. The unicorn tail, unicorn gold yarn bowl. Yes, please. Oh my gosh, it is just the cutest. How cute is that? So cute. All right, so the Christmas Day cast on, I did get a couple new Blue Q bags. So this is one of them. So I decided not to showcase all of the yarn that I got for Christmas, because basically it was almost entirely what I got for Christmas was yarn, which is easy when all you ask for, whoa, there goes an earring. When all you ask for Christmas is yarn, then it's easy to get a lot of yarn. I did finally get a yarn ball winder for Christmas. Ugh. And I have been asking for that for a couple years. Something in me just never wanted to spend the money myself to get one. I don't know why. Okay, got the earring in. Maybe because like I knew like, oh, that's such an easy thing. If someone wants to get me something and really bless me, that would be an easy thing for me to say, I want a ball winder. But I don't know why I put up with winding my yarn by hand for so long, because it takes so much time and I end up tangling it. So this year my husband did good. He got me a ball winder, but not just a ball winder. He also got me a Swift to go with it. So that was amazing and total game changer, and I totally love it. So Christmas Day, I'm winding up, I'm spinning. It's like got a mechanical, you know, crank wheel. I'm cranking and spinning up, not spinning, winding up yarn into cakes. So that was awesome. So like I said, I'm not going to show you all the yarn that I got, but some of it. And here is one ball of it. Now, the risk of sounding like a total brat, this yarn kind of left me with a, not the typical color that I would use. Nor that I asked for. Basically, I said, you know, this year I could use some solids in purples or pinks, or any self-striping yarn, or any yarn that has glitter in it, any types of pinks and glitters. And then my husband picked out this, and I just kind of looked at it. I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah, it looks like dirty snow. And I was like, okay, all right, dirty snow, cool. So the colorway is actually not called dirty snow. This is Hawthorne fingering weight yarn from Knit Picks, and the colorway is Spark Speckle. And this is a 80/20 superwash and polyamide blend in fingering weight. But since he liked the color so much, I thought, well, I'll knit him a pair of socks out of it. So I have already cast on, I have a cuff here, and these are going to be some shorty socks. Oh no, it's already coming off. We can fix this. It is going to be a set of shorty socks, which are the type that my husband usually prefers. So we're gonna make him a set in it. I did also get a comment from some other male friends that they like this colorway too. One of them referred to it as kind of having a bird-like effect, to kind of look like some bird feathers. I don't really quite see it, but you know, I'm still here for it. And I have another adorable stitch marker from Charmed and Dangerous, a little hedgehog there. Also part of the November Stitch Charm Club. I was so sad that I missed out on the January Charm Club. The theme is going to be tea time, and especially if there's any month for me to do that kind of thing, it's going to be January because that's my birthday month. But alas, I missed the time. I missed being there when the Charm Club specifically dropped on Etsy, and so it got sold out. That's it. Hopefully though, I'm sure she'll have something equally as cute in February because that's Valentine's Day, more pink and cutesy stuff, right? So I'm gonna try really hard to be on the lookout for that. So yeah, so this was the Christmas Day cast on. Really, I only knit this so much as when we were playing games on Christmas Day. And then I also brought this to my game day I went to yesterday with some other friends. So some nice travel knitting, shorty socks, so almost mindless knitting that I can do in between my turn at board games. All right, next we have a New Year's Day cast on, as if we don't have enough cast ons already. I'm telling you what though, I started getting pain in my hands from all the knitting, and then realized I need some crochet on the hook. I would say on the needles, but it's a crochet hook. I need something on the crochet hook. Let me take a drink real quick here. So I was trying to think of what to do, because ultimately I do want to use up my stash of bargain yarn that I have and crochet like some Afghans, which are wonderful and great stash busting ways to bust stash. But I don't even know how I got onto it, but I started thinking like, well, you know, I have some really wonderfully lovely fingering weight yarn. Maybe I could figure out what I want to crochet with fingering weight yarn. And I came up, or rather I searched and came up with a project. Oh, I'm getting tangled. One second. So I found this project. It is a free project online. And now I have to remember what it's called. I think it's just called a One Skein Cowl Light. I'll post below what it is. But basically, I'm going to make a cowl out of fingering weight yarn, a crocheted cowl for myself out of fingering weight yarn. So this is what I have so far. Basically, I just kind of have the very bottom of what will be the cowl. I did, you know, the first round of chains and half double crochets, and then it's doing several rows of front and back post double crochets. So if you can, hopefully if you can see the texture there, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Is this the third Charmed and Dangerous stitch marker I'm showing you? It might be, but here is this adorable little skunk from Charmed and Dangerous. This yarn is, talk about some deep stash. This yarn is such deep stash that I don't know what it is. I honestly do not. I think I have an idea. I think that it might be some hedgehog fibers yarn, but really I believe that this is yarn that I would have got like the very first time I entered into a local yarn store. Like the first time that I went shopping for something that wasn't yarn in Joann's or Walmart or something. And they would have caked it up for me, which they did, and I didn't know enough to keep the label. but I can, you know, I can see that it is fingering weight and I can see that it's beautiful. It kind of gives me these unicorn vibes and I'm here for it. And I'm going to crochet a cowl out of it. And it's gonna be beautiful and lovely. So that is what I have that's crocheted to work on. Something that I want to do for the new year, and I know many of you may have similar resolutions, or even if you don't, I'd highly encourage you to join me. But I want to measure my yardage this year. And I think what I decided that I'm going to do is kind of do it in the style of Stash Dash. And that means that within my time frame, which is going to be the year 2021, it's going to be the finished projects. My finished projects are going to be the yardage that I use, because essentially for me, that's going to be from knitmas to knitmas, pretty much. Yeah. So even, it's not a calendar year, but it's still a year. But not everyone measures their years from knitmas to knitmas. So I'm going to be keeping track of my yardage as I complete projects. So I'm hopeful that that will get me getting projects off the needles as well as keeping track. And I don't want to, you know, be too ambitious, but it would be really cool if I could like reach the yardage of a marathon for the whole year, which I believe is like 32 miles or so. It's pretty ambitious. We'll just start and see how things go. Maybe start with like a 5K, then a 10K. But I am going to be posting a very specific discussion thread on Adventures with Yarn, on adventureswithyarn.com, within the Adventures with Yarn podcast group. I'm going to start a discussion thread. I'm going to keep track of my own yardage, and I would encourage you to come do the same. Come do it too. There will not be specific prizes, giveaways for this. Is kind of more personal goals, goal setting, and seeing what we can do. I especially want this to be out there for those who maybe used to enjoy Stash Dash, but maybe cannot or do not use Ravelry anymore. So if you're not already signed up on adventureswithyarn.com, come on over, set up your profile, join the Adventures with Yarn podcast group. Or if you want to start your own group, if you have your own podcast, start your own group, whatever is free, you can do that. But if you're interested in tracking your yardage and want to go on this trek with me, then come on and join. I think I'm going to call it the Adventures with Yarnathon 2021. Not that original, I know, but if you have something better in mind, let me know. I'll consider it. Okay, so that is going to go on and something I'm going to try to keep track of for this year. Oh, also another thing, stash is definitely going to be highly, highly encouraged. But in my mind, I was thinking basically anything that I buy is kind of put into stash anyways. So I'm going to try not to buy yarn for the new year, try to use what I have, but I kind of failed at that pretty bad last year, so I don't want to set myself up for failure again. But yeah, if you especially are using stash yarn, make sure to give yourself credit and point that out on this discussion thread so that we can cheer you on even more. Okay, another cool thing that is going to be on Adventures with Yarn, and it kind of inspired me by getting this mug, because I really enjoy, well, for one, I really enjoy traveling, which of course people are not doing right now in this global pandemic, right? But I also really enjoy learning about like other places where people come from, other places around the country, around the world. I saw another podcast that did like this postcard rally, and I thought it was so cool. They had their viewers send postcards in, and they would show the postcards on the podcast, and they would draw from them kind of like as a raffle to give away prizes. So I want to do something similar, but it's going to be in digital form. So in that way, you do not have to physically go out and purchase a postcard, and you do not physically have to go out and send that postcard to me in the mail. Instead, I would love it if you could go on the Adventures with Yarn podcast group, which is on adventureswithyarn.com. I will be starting a discussion thread called the Great Postcard Rally, the Great Digital Postcard Rally. And what I'm going to have you do is, in essence, post a digital postcard. You're going to post a photo of a picture that represents your neck of the woods. It can be a picture that represents your city or your town. It could be a picture that's right outside your window. Whatever you feel like embodies your area of the world that you live in, and kind of tell us a little bit about it. I'll post a example, and I would just really love to see that, and we can comment on each other's postcards. It's gonna be so cool. And then I'm gonna let that run for about a month or so. I'm thinking I'll probably draw a winner. I have to figure out, let's just say February 7th. February 7th, I'll be drawing a winner. So you have this month to go and post your postcard. And on February 7th, I will be drawing at least one winner. I have a prize coming in the mail. I think I can probably tell you that I did get the lovely Yarnacious yarn to donate a skein of yarn that will be given away. And I also have some stitch markers in mind that I'm going to assemble to be given out also. So there's going to be some cute prizes, and that's going to kick off the year 2021 with Adventures with Yarn as far as giveaways and contests go. I do have some plans for March. You're going to have to stick around to find out more about that. But so far, we have the Great Digital Postcard Rally, and we have the Adventures with Yarn-a-thon 2021. So some great ways that you can interact with this amazing yarn community, make some new friends, talk to others. It's gonna be a blast, and I'm so excited. All right, anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I'll see you next time. As always, if you like what you see, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.